Hello guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to copy a file from your EC2 instance to S3. So we are going to copy the file using this command. So assuming you have a EC2 instance running, and on this EC2 instance there's a file you want to copy to an S3 bucket. To do that, the first thing you need to do is give this EC2 instance permission to be able to copy files to the S3. So how we will do that is we will create an IAM role. So come to Service, under Security, Identity and Compliance, select IAM. Then we'll select Roles, Create Role. We want to create an AWS service role, and the service that's going to be using it is EC2. Select EC2, click Next for permission, and under permission type S3 and select S3 full access. Click Next to tag. I'm going to leave the tag blank. Click Next to review. Role name S3. I'll call it S3 full access. Leave the description as the same. And make sure under policy you have your Amazon S3 full access and click create role. So that's the first thing you need to do, create a role. And let's go to EC2. And what we are going to do, click our running instance and select that instance. And under action, we want to select instance setting. And we want to select attach/replace role, IAM role. And under the IAM role, we would attach that role we just create and click apply and close. That's the first thing we want to do. So now we have given this EC2 instance permission to be able to copy files to S3 or download file from S3. The next thing you need to check is your security group configuration on your EC2 instance to make sure you have the right port open. So if I select this EC2 instance and I come to my security groups down here, if I click view inbound rule, as you can see, this only has the default rule. And what we want is we want to open SSH ports, and we also want to open port 80. So let's come down to security groups, and we would create a new security group, and I'll call this EC2 security group, EC2 SG. So, and add rule, and you want to add an SSH rule. And again, for best practice, it is best to always SSH in from your IP address, but just because we are using this as an example, I'll just leave it to the world. And we'll add another rule on HTTP and anywhere from anywhere. Let me add one more, HTTPS, also from anywhere. Then once I'm done, I'll click create rule. Remember, our security group name is EC2 SG. Create security group. Then I'll go back to my EC2 instance. Select the EC2 instance. Select it over here. And under actions, come down to networking and change security group. We want to change it from that to the EC2 SG that we created and assign security group. So those are the two critical things we need to do. Now all we need to do is SSH into our EC2 instance and run that command. And make sure that you have the key pair that you used to launch your EC2 instance when your EC2 instance was launched. So I'm going to use PuTTY to SSH into my EC2 instance. So I'm going to open PuTTY. I'll copy the IP address of my EC2 instance. And I'm going to come down to SSH, select auth, browse, select the key pair that I used to launch my EC2 instance. Then I'm going to go up. I'm going to increase the font a little bit so you can see. And on that session, I'm going to type EC2 -user at my IP address for my EC2 instance and click open. And now we have SSH into our EC2 instance. And this is the directory that we want to copy the file from. So for example, when I type in ls, you can see the file in here. So I have this file on my EC2 instance and I want to copy it to my S3 bucket. So let's see if we have an S3 bucket. So I'm going to go to S3. There is no bucket, so let me create a bucket. Let's just call it test. Just make up a name, create your bucket, and I'm going to click create. So I have my bucket, and now I can go into that bucket. So the next thing we need to do is we need our command. So I'm just going to come to the Amazon documentation, copy that. I always like to open Notepad and paste everything in there. Make sure I have everything right. I'll paste that command in here. So it's saying I need this command, and the next thing I need, which is right here, is the name of my file. So you can see the file name is bike.jpg. I'm going to type that in here. Right, bike.jpg, S3. So we have S3. The next thing is my bucket name. So I'm going to get my bucket name, which is right here. Copy. I'm going to paste that here. It is asking which folder we want to copy it to. We don't have a folder, so we can just delete that part. And the file again is this file. If you have a folder you want to copy it to, you would put the folder name where we just delete. But since we don't have a folder, we can just delete that part and copy the file name again here. So we have our full command. Just going to select everything, copy, come back to my SSH session, and I'm going to paste it here. So remember, I am running the command from the directory where the file that I want to copy is located. Paste that command in there and press enter. Good. Now, if we come to S3 and just refresh, you can see in our S3 bucket that file is there. That is how you copy a file from your EC2 instance to S3. Make sure you have the right security group configuration just to open the necessary port, especially port 22, to be able to SSH into your EC2 instance. And another thing you need to do is make sure you have an IAM role with the right permission for your EC2 instance to be able to copy the files from its directory to the S3 bucket or vice versa. Thank you, and I will see you in the next tutorial.